Your first reaction, Joy, when you heard the news?
My first reaction when I heard the news was that it had to come from him. Because if it's not from him, it would have happened at the start of the season itself. I think if they had to do this as a team management decision, it should have been done before the season started. You've got Morgan in the auction, go and finish it off. I don't think the KKR management halfway through the season would have wanted to change a captain. But I think Dinesh Karthik looked all around, realized that he had a lot on his plate as a player. And anyway, I think KKR, the way they're set up, it's a lot of Owen Morgan is doing a lot of pseudo captaincy at mid-on, mid-off. Brendan is doing a lot of things. You can see him with even the walkie-talkie talking to the fielders on the outfields. Messages are going into the captain. So in any way, there's a lot of support. It's not that DK is necessarily carrying all the load. So I don't think it's as big a change as you think it is. I think for DK it's a big change, saying that look, let me just free my mind of this. I've got enough troubles in my head. I don't want to do this.
Oh, Simon, that's a far more timid reaction than I expected from Mr. Bhattacharya.
I need a little sip of my tea.
Yeah.
I need a little sip of my coffee.
Cynics you are.
Just to ponder that. Look, why now though? That's what I don't get. I'm just not sure why now. It's 4-3. He's not one win from 6 games. He hasn't done a bad job. No, he hasn't been the best captain in the tournament by far, but he hasn't done a bad job, and I don't understand. Now, I, for one, and I know we talked about it, Joy, last year, we thought when Brendan McCullum, when the KKR management were going to go for Owen Morgan, they were buying a captain. We all thought that. Now, they've got that captain. It's just happened a little bit later than we thought. So I don't understand why now, when they're not going that badly. That's the only thing I would say. I thought that they were buying Owen Morgan in the auction to captain the side. When that didn't happen, then maybe DK was going to be it, Joy. And, he should have been it for the season. I just don't quite get right why now.
Exactly. That is the Joy. I just want to add to what Simon is saying, because historically we've seen captain changes. We've seen mid-flight call sign changing, right? But it's only happened when a team is going really badly and you need to do something drastic to reboot it, right? So Ricky Ponting does it when he says, all right, I don't make a place in this 11, right? So he says, I'm going to go. Gautam Gambhir does it because he says, I'm just not the player that I am. Remember, and again, just to put in perspective, Ricky Ponting, World Cup winning captain. Gautam Gambhir, two IPL winning captain, right? So these are people who've proven their chops. They're saying, our place is not there as a player, right? So I want to leave. This is different, which is why it's just ringing. I don't know, and the management, but it's just ringing weird to me.
It is, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Why would KKR need to change the captain? If it's a management decision, why would KKR need to change the captain where anyway captaincy or taking decisions is a collective call? And that's what KKR has been saying all season. That Brendan and Owen Morgan and the team management, we are all taking a call. Why bother to change it?
No, we see this with so many teams. There are so many teams. Virat Kohli, you see, sometimes there's AB captaining. There's Finch. Parthiv Patel would take a call sometimes from behind the stumps. We see it. It's not unique that DK is keeping and you've got Brendan running the play. We've seen it with India. Virat sometimes is at long off and Dhoni's running the play from behind. It's a team, right? And seniors will always pitch in, which is why this pseudo captain standing in mid-off, does not ring as a reason for me. I'm just going to throw one more cat amongst the pigeons by just putting this thought out to the two of you. Sometimes you can just create an environment where a person gets insecure enough where they just voluntarily want to leave.
I've felt like that on Cricbuzz before, actually, when I've been under pressure from you two. It's times when I've just about walked out the door and just gone and sat and had a risotto.
And I stop you with the risotto. That's how I buy your love, with the risotto.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they have.
I'm just devil's advocate. That's all.
I know what you're saying, and I mean, I don't for one second think that Owen Morgan and Brendan McCullum have a malicious agenda.
Of course.
And it's just, I don't know. Look, time will tell. This may not be successful. It's what we wanted. I think it's what I suggested. What I thought would happen was he would get the captaincy for the start of the IPL. It didn't happen, so I didn't mind DK getting the job. Will this be successful? No guarantees whatsoever. And if it's DK's decision, then good on him. I said last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, he was the best man to be at that World Cup for India as a 13th, 14th, 15th man, because he is genuinely a lovely guy and a team first man.
Yeah.
And if he's done it for those reasons, then, hands up and good on him.
Yeah.
No, I completely concur with you. If we had to, I would have loved to change the captain at the start of the season. Because DK, when you have somebody the quality of Eoin Morgan, see, last year, when DK was captaining in 2019, if you looked around that dressing room, who would you make captain? Robin? Who are the other senior players? Robin? Piyush? You can't. And if you look at the international stars, your stars, Andre and Sunil, are not communicative guys. They're not the guys you make captain. So DK would have looked around, and even if he had wanted to, he would have looked around and said, you know what? This doesn't make any sense. So that's what I'm saying. What I felt might have happened is, even when this auction thing happened, they got Eoin Morgan. Knowing DK, he would have been the first to call up and said, you know what, great choice, fantastic, he can take over captaincy. And somebody at some point must have just turned around and said, no, you're our captain, it stays our captain. And then just that bad call got perpetrated through. Because really, if you have to do it, it had to be done then. And I'll tell you one thing, DK wouldn't have the slightest issue with it. He's not at the stage in his career when he's ambitious. B, it doesn't really matter to Eoin Morgan. Let's be honest, he's won a World Cup. For him to say that, I'm going to be a successful IPL captain, I'm sorry, guys. That Eoin Morgan has passed that stage when he needs to win an IPL to prove his credentials as a cricketer. So let's leave that aside. So that's my point, that I think DK did it himself. I wish it had happened at the start and not in the middle. It may still work out for KKR, but it would have been better had this darn thing been sorted before a tournament started.